How long have I been in this place? It goes on forever. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Fantasy Forge. Today we're going to be looking at Sewerscapes. Now if you haven't seen them already, I'll show you some close-ups of what we're going to try and achieve today. So Tilescapes is a modular terrain set to emulate a sewer system. This is made from extruded polystyrene coving and it's pretty easy to knock out, but the devil is in the details. If you want it to look good, spend the time making it look good. Now this can be done by amateurs or people with a lot of experience alike. This is quite a big project, so it's not for the faint-hearted. I'm going to break this down into 4 parts, this being the first. For this project you're going to need extruded polystyrene coving, and you're going to want to cut that into 10-inch, 4-inch, 3-inch and 2-inch sections. For making the corner pieces, there's a couple of ways of doing that, but we'll get onto that later. You'll also need some inch-thick polystyrene board, which you'll use to make the supports for the back of your piece. You'll want to cut them down into 2-inch by 2-inch squares from the main board. Once those pieces are cut down, mark out the shape that you want to cut out. Here I use a form that I made based on the curve of the polystyrene coving. Here I use a hot wire cutter to cut away the excess. Moving the gate closer to the wire will allow you to cut these pieces in 2. This will allow you to make 4 supports from a single 2-inch square. Taking a 10-inch piece of coving, you can hot glue one of these pieces to one end and another to the other end. When applying these supports to the back of your piece, make sure that A, the piece is the right way around to give you a top and bottom that you're happy with, and B, make sure that when you press down it gives you a level gluing. You don't want wonky tile pieces. Once these pieces have cured to a hard finish, you should be able to see that they are level. This same gluing method should be used on all the varying sizes of foam used for this project. Test it on a flat surface to make sure that there's no wobble. And if you've already made some, make sure that you hold them up to it so that you can make sure that all the edges meet properly. For the next section, I use a pre-prepared form to make sure that I get 45-degree angle cuts for all my corner pieces. Here I'm marking the mark at 3 inches to give myself the external corner pieces. I was using 4-inch sections of foam here because I had some left over, but by far the easiest way to do this is by starting with single pieces of 4 1/16 inch pieces. That way you only have to do one cut to give yourself a half piece for an external joint and half a piece for an internal corner joint. This will massively boost your productivity. The additional 1/16 of an inch added onto the measurement allows for any shrinkage and meltage that occurs by using the hot wire cutter. Here you'll notice that I'm cutting an internal corner joint and I've turned the coving round in the form. The reason for this is that it gave a much better cut and much more reliable angles. Don't ask me why. Here I'm doing the opposing internal corner piece, and I've turned it round the opposite way, but the coving is still facing into the form. This gives us our two pieces for our internal corner. For this stage we take two of the external corner joints. We're going to apply a support to the back. Make sure it's level. Then apply one to the opposing side. We also apply supports to the back of the internal corners, gluing and making sure that they are level. Once you're happy that your supports have cured, take a small triangular piece of foam and cut a V-shaped notch into the back of it. Here I use a craft knife because it was just easier than freehanding on a fixed table hot wire cutter. Make sure it fits onto the back of your piece to provide support. Then hot glue your two pieces together, making sure that all the lines match up and the pieces are level. Once it's cured, add the back support to stop it flopping backwards. Having applied your back supports to the corner pieces for the internal corners, you'll probably find that there's a little bit of overhang, which is easily trimmed off with a craft knife. Apply a bead of hot glue and make sure all edges are firmly glued together and that the piece sits level.